We have the coach here, and he's ready for your questions. We'll start right here in the front row.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
AP Stidham, AP and Kelly, as we see at syndicated radio. Coach, you're trying to move the program forward this year. What are some things you need to do, let's say offensively, defensively, special teams, to get those W's in the conference?
We got to play better football. Let's start there. No, I mean, I think we've made a lot of changes internally, starting with, the change in strength coach, which has better positioned us to take some ground physically, and to look like the rest of our league. That's really exciting. Our players draw confidence from that too. And so they can sense a difference, and there's a different synergy in our building because of the work they're putting in and the results they're seeing that way. As far as, what we need to do, offense, defense, special teams, I think we performed in our special teams unit at a high level, that we positioned ourselves well in that way. Offensively and defensively, it's about playing more complementary. And offensively, we had a run of turnovers in the middle of our season in a 3-game stretch, starting with UNLV. We turned the ball over 10 times. 4 of those went back for touchdowns. I think another 3 set up possession inside the 15. And so that's not going to be a formula for us to be successful. So offensively protecting the ball, establishing a run game. Again, we went from 19th in the country in 2022 to 97th, I think, in 23 in time of possession. That's not a recipe for success. So reclaiming that ground in the run game, and then obviously finishing with touchdowns in the red zone be important. Defensively, it's eliminating explosive plays. We gave up too many of those a year ago. And in our third down performance, we got to get the ball back to our offense. Thought we did a decent job attacking the ball last year and generating some turnovers. That's always going to be a focus for an elite defense, and so that's something we want to do well also.
Right side, second row.
Jesse Doherty from the Washington Post. Clark, in the NIL era, when you get a verbal commitment from a high schooler, how much do you have to keep recruiting that player because of how much is going on? And is it really different from maybe 4 or 5 years ago before the NIL era began?
I don't know that. I don't know that the NIL era has changed the nature of verbal commitments. I think we've been experiencing this for some time now, where you want to shepherd those relationships all the way to the finish line. Certainly, you have situations where someone may get offered a better deal or a better package. I think you got to pay attention to those things. But we've been on high alert in the recruiting space for probably close to a decade, if not more. And so I think we just take the same approach with just a little more awareness of what has become legal, and that's again the transaction that's involved in recruiting now.
For your question, how worried are you at all, if at all, about how much of this video game your guys are about to be playing heading into the season?
Well, I know 3 of them that aren't going to get to it until later, which is a good thing because they're here with me. If it were me, I'd be playing that game. So they're going to play it, and I think we gotta make sure. And listen, we message this all the time. It's there's always sacrifice in what we do, which includes that there's a time where we have to turn it off and go to bed and get up the next morning and get ready to go to work. What I know is the work that they're going to meet in that weight room is going to demand a lot of them, and so if they're not ready, we will know. I do want them to enjoy it, though, because, I know I would be. And, I on a side note, just let's celebrate the return of this game. It's a great thing. And so it's another way for fans to connect with our sport. And, for all these guys, back in my day, I think I was VU, whatever it would be, FB number 29, and then you'd have to update all the names and stuff. And if you're me, you start to hit those speed rankings up to 99, and they don't have to do that. They may have to change their rankings, but their names will be on there. What a sign of progress for our sport. And so again, that's fun. I want them to have fun with it. That doesn't excuse them from the work we have to do, which is going to be really important.
Right side.
Clark Jordan Hill with Dogs 24/7. We're getting to know London Humphreys over at Georgia. What did you guys see from him when he was a high school recruit, and what did he bring to y'all's offense last year?
Oh, I got a ton of respect for London and his family, and I'm super excited for him, and he's a great person, and he's got a great future ahead of him. We saw those things in the early stages of a high school player that has been a track athlete and a track star who's learning how to play the game. I felt like he developed well for us through the fall and had success, and had enough success that he chose to go somewhere else. But, we wish him well, but that's as far as I'll comment on that. Thanks.
Left side on the aisle, please.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. Clark, the past couple seasons, you've gone in saying that your goal was to get to competing for championships. Do you feel like that is still attainable? And how critical do you feel like this year is for the future of Vanderbilt?
I think I'm misunderstood a lot because I don't think it's always contextualized in the way that I see it. This is a journey, and everything that we experience, I believe, is meant for us. And that doesn't mean that, there aren't days where you feel a million miles away from the finish line. That's life, and that's building anything. And I think everyone relates to that, and everyone experiences that. The point for me is that our North Star, our aiming point is winning. It's sustaining winning, and it's competing for championships. So that everything we meet now only defines us as we are and not as we will be, will actually be defined by the choices we make through our experience. And so for me, for example, last year was frustrating and disappointing and painful, but it's not an indictment of what our program's capable of. It's a picture of where we are, and success is a lag effect. So what's important is we take that knowledge and we redirect it in decisions that move us forward towards our goal. And again, the goal is to win.
Left side, third row.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Who's a player on offense and one on defense that we're not talking about but should be?
Well, I don't answer these questions well because I would end up talking about 20 guys. I think we have a group of guys that are working really hard to improve our program, and I think with the addition of the transfers, you've added competition, and with competition, as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. So you're seeing players that are returning that maybe haven't yet had the careers that they set out to have. You see them now fighting for what they want, and this progress for each individual in the program is going to lead to a lot of guys, I think, having years that maybe we didn't anticipate, but that are going to be fun to experience and watch and to celebrate alongside them. There's two ways to improve the players on the field. One is you develop, the other is you acquire, and we've done both. And so I'm excited to give room for the guys that return that maybe haven't had that impact yet to have a breakout season. And I'm excited for the guys that we added that wanted to come and be a part of our build and be a part of our program and compete in the SEC, to take that stage and to optimize it and to have fun, playing football at the highest possible level.
Front row, on the left.
Coach, what attracted you to Nate Johnson, and what are his chances this season to contribute heavily?
Well, Nate is a quarterback that has tons of physical gifts. He's got documented speed. I may mess this up, but I think he ran like a 10-300 meter. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I believe it's that. He is he's smart. He's got arm talent, and I've seen him perform in big stages at a high level. All those things are appealing. He'll compete for the starting job just like the rest of the guys will. And what I need from him is to continue to grow and continue to get better. But it's been fun to watch him out there. It's been fun to watch him find progress and find his footing in the system. And obviously, I expect he and Diego to go at it, and Blaze and Drew Dickey and the freshmen we've added. It'll be a fun competition, but I want to put a lot of pressure on Tim to put the best 11 on the field and to maximize the product we put out there. And I know Tim's excited to have all these guys as available options for him to field a great offense.
On the aisle, on the right.
Hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall at WHBQ Memphis. I want to go back to Coach Kill for a second because I've been a big fan of his for years too. But I swore after last season he was retired for good. And then it seemed like he was. And then I hear that he, lined up with you, and I thought, wow, what a hire. I mean, how did you have to convince him out of being retired, or how did that all come about?
Well, I have a ton of respect for Jerry also. And, I think as a young coach, I followed his career, and I kind of aspired to do some of the things that he's done, to build programs in places where it's been challenging. And, I've gotten to know him a little bit in passing, but always paid attention to what he was doing. When I interviewed Tim Beck and made the decision to hire him as offensive coordinator, I knew it was a possibility that Coach Kill was going to retire from being a head coach. And obviously, like any competitor, and any good recruiter, I wanted to position myself to sell Nashville. And it just so happens he's got a granddaughter that lives nearby, which is a great in. And he's a good family man, and he wanted to be able to spend time around his granddaughter. And I think also Coach Kill and I connect in so many ways. Philosophically, in our approach, I like to give him a hard time because he's a little bit older than me, but there's just, I think, a mutual respect. And also, I come at him with the approach of, like, I need you to come help me. I need to lean on your experience, and I want you to, I believe in so much of what we're doing, but to have someone who has that level of success and experience, it builds confidence in all of us. And so he and I have formed a special relationship, and I feel privileged to have him as a part of our staff. I lean on him every day. He makes me better, and he makes us better. And, I'm excited to go at this thing with him.
Any other questions? We have a couple minutes. Is the city of Nashville a strong recruiting tool for you? And then does it also present concerns that it offers so much when you have men that age?
It is an excellent place to recruit to. It's a and again we're an exception in a lot of ways with respect to there's so many college towns, but we are one of the fastest growing cities in the world, and a place where you can train in the summer but also intern at a Fortune 500 company and not miss any days. So I think that's a great advantage. There's also in the NIL era so many resources that surround us that can support our efforts. As far as the distractions that exist, as we were talking earlier about the game, those distractions are everywhere. And so we recruit to the city in all the ways that'll support a great experience. We don't recruit to Broadway, and I'm not interested in having guys down on the honky tonk. But I'll also say to you that one of the great traps of becoming a pro is you get this influx of resources in a city with a lot of attention. And so we can learn now in Nashville how to build discipline around your process and how to not get distracted. And those lessons will carry over for our guys when they become pros.
Two final questions on the aisle here and then over there.
Just what have you seen from the progress of the stadium, and then how much you're looking forward to that being completed? What's kind of the overall atmosphere going to be like with a finally complete stadium to play?
Yeah, I'm really glad to not have a scoreboard hanging by cranes. I can start there. I was saying earlier, my view got measurably better when they knocked down the south end, and it's getting measurably worse every day they make progress on that south end. you know, it's exciting because it's change, and we've been desperate for change at Vanderbilt. It's going to improve our game day environment, but it's only the first step. You know, this is not the solution to our progress and to building the program that we want to build. This is the first step, and an important one, and one that sends a signal. But you know, for me and from my position, we can't stop here or feel like it's enough. We got to keep pushing. And what does pushing look like? It means continuing to address facilities so that we don't make any compromises at Vanderbilt football, that we have the best of the best in everything that our kids interact with. It means continuing to push for the resources we need to field the best possible team that we can field. Why? Because football is important at Vanderbilt, and we're here to win. And so I'll look forward to having the north end open this fall. That'll be really neat. I'll look forward to the south end opening for next season. And I'll look forward to all the things that come after this as we continue to build this program that signal the advancement and signal the desire to compete at the highest possible level.
Final question.
Hey, Coach, Bruce from Memphis again. Real quick, just piggybacking on his stadium question, and just curious for me, that's an incredibly valuable piece of real estate that stadium sits on, you know, with all that's going on in Nashville around there. Was there ever any discussion about doing what Pittsburgh did, moving into Heinz Field like they did with the Steelers? You have an NFL stadium in town. There might be a dome coming pretty soon. Was that ever a thought for Vandy to go into the big stadium and move away from campus there?
You know, I can't speak to those discussions in the past just because I wasn't around. And none of those conversations have taken place since I've been at Vanderbilt. What I will tell you is I would be, I'd be vehemently opposed to that, because to me there's something about playing on campus that is sacred to college football. And the fact that our stadium's right across the street from our facility is a really neat thing. And so I'm glad that we have our home there. I'm excited for that home to get dressed up. I think we all are. It's long overdue. And now I'm interested in where we continue to make those changes to continue to support this program to compete and win at the highest level.
Thank you, Coach. Always a pleasure having you in here.
Thanks.